Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the year of 2016. This is for Tauruses who were born between May 11th and May 20th. So, Decan 3 basically in astrology. I decided to split up all the signs into their three decans and do separate readings, in depth readings for 2016. That way they could be a little bit more specific and, a little bit more exciting for people. So you can feel free to watch all three videos. By the way, there are probably going to be things that will be important to you in the other two videos as well. So you can feel free to do that. All the links for those videos will be in the description below for the other two videos in your sign. So this year, you start off with the Five of Spades. Five of Spades is all about adventure, taking adventures, being adventurous this year, needing to be adventurous, needing to look for things to be adventurous, especially if you are stuck sometimes with the Five of Spades. It can represent being stuck, for example. So if you're stuck in your job, stuck in your business, you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, chances are you need to find something that involves more adventure, that's more different. People who get this card don't like to have jobs that are the same, where they're doing like the same thing over and over again, like a drone, just droning on, like the same stuff. So you need to maybe look for jobs that are more exciting, that are more, different day-to-day things. Usually with this card, though, I mean, if you have to do something the same, like say a piece of paperwork, but it's always the same and it's very easy to do, that usually won't bother somebody with a Five of Spades. But if the whole entire job is exactly the same every single day, that would drive this person crazy who gets this card. So definitely look for adventure this year. The Five of Spades can also represent multiple paths. It's very similar to the eights in that if you are stuck and you can't move forward in some area of your life, whether it be love, your job, business, work, whatever, if you can't move forward, it just says you're not looking at some things around you. There are some opportunities that you just aren't looking at, and they're literally right there. Fives and eights are very easy to overcome. The challenging eights and fives in the deck, very easy to overcome. You just have to open your eyes. Chances are somebody's maybe even given you the opportunity. Like maybe somebody said to you, hey, why don't you try doing this? And for whatever reason, you've been resistant to it. So don't be resistant to change or any new ideas that pop into your head with this card. Kind of take advantage of them. That will allow you to move forward. Next, you have the Ten of Hearts, a big love card. There's definitely a lot of love on the table for you in particular. The Decan 3 Tauruses here seem to have a lot of love opportunities, which the other two Tauruses do not this year, or at least, just didn't come up in the cards. But Ten of Hearts, a lot of love. Ten of Hearts also represents fortune after difficulty. The Ten of Hearts and Ten of Diamonds pretty much both represent better things coming into you after a very difficult period of time. Not having to deal with so many challenges lifting, moving past challenges. A lot of love coming in. Like I said, you look at how many hearts are on there. That's like a lot of people who could potentially be interested in you. This is also a card of needing to kind of like express your emotions, feel your emotions more, talk to people. If it's a card, it's not a challenging card, but I will say if you are having problems in your love life this year, this card is a card that comes in and says you're not expressing yourself, you're not communicating, you're not telling the person you're with or the people around you what you need. You're not telling them what the problems are. You're just kind of like holding it in, and you don't want to do that. That can happen with this card sometimes. Also, sometimes with this card, we can feel, the Ten of Hearts in particular, we can feel very like aggressive towards our goals, like we want them right now, right away. We don't want to wait for anything. So we can become a little bit too over aggressive towards trying to achieve our goals, and that can just create more blocks. So, I am the most impatient person on the face of this planet. I can promise you that. And I hate when people tell me to be patient. It drives me crazy because I don't want to be patient either. But this card really does say that you have to be patient this year and expect to have some patience. But you have so much good stuff happening for you that, I think you'll be all right. Next, you have the Two of Hearts. Great card. Meeting somebody who makes you feel very happy. This is like soulmate level stuff here. Meeting somebody who you stay together with forever. It makes you very happy. If you are with somebody that currently, it could be that person, making you very happy. If you aren't looking for love, this card can come in sometimes and also say that you're matching up with a job that makes you really happy, or even just like a hobby. It doesn't have to be anything major. It can be something small, like you find a new hobby this year that makes you really excited with this card. So that is something to look out for as well. With all these hearts cards, whenever hearts cards come up, I always tell people make sure to have a lot of fun, because sometimes that's what the hearts want us to do. They want us to actually go out and have fun and separate kind of from our lives. Sometimes we get too involved in our lives, we don't separate, and then we end up having no fun for a very long period of time. With this card, also, it's important to it is important to kind of create that balance, but reality is very important with this card as well, because sometimes this card comes in and we get into one of those relationships where we get sucked into this like fantasy land, and all sorts of weird stuff can happen there, losing jobs because we skipped work or whatever. So make sure to kind of stay grounded this year. You're a Taurus, which so you're automatically great at that, but just make sure that you are staying grounded with this card. You can get a little bit airy with this, and you have two cards that represent air signs coming up at the end, so just kind of stay away from that. Next, you have the Seven of Hearts coming up, kind of that lack of love that I was talking about, feeling a lack of love. This, I would have to say, is mostly for those of you that are in relationships at the beginning of the year, like, for the whole year. This card simply asks you to communicate. You are actually the one that's missing from the card. Your partner's right there, and this is almost in every single case where the person who is feeling the lack of love in the relationship is the one that's not communicating. The partner, like I said, is actually present and is pretty much willing to do whatever they have to do, because again, they're here to make things work, to help you out, to talk to you, to offer you support, to give you whatever you need. You literally just have to ask for it. That's all this is. This card's all about expectations, and that's the problem with the Seven of Hearts. Sometimes when we get this card, we can have expectations. We can just expect things of people, and that can cause all sorts of problems, because we set expectations for other people, and of course that never works out, ever, and then we get disappointed. And so instead of having that happen, instead of setting expectations, communicate and just tell people what you expect of them, or whatever. You don't play the guessing game. Don't fall into that. That's how relationships crumble. When the whole thing, like, oh, he or she didn't know to do this, or didn't know that, without ever having told them in the first place. Don't play that game. Communicate. This card is, like I said, it's all about that. It's a teaching card as well. It's a harsh teacher. It'll smack you right in the face if you don't kind of like follow those rules. It really wants you to learn something. It's very important, so pay attention to that. Next, you have the Queen of Spades. Queen of Spades, to me, all about being a visionary, seeing the future. I think all Tauruses, all three Decans, are going to be very psychic. It's come up a lot for all three signs, so there must be something astrological going on for you Tauruses out there. This year, I think Taurus can be a very psychic sign, more grounded, which is great. But I think you're going to kind of really have like a heightened ability this year, especially with this card. It's all about, like I said, being a visionary, kind of like seeing out into the future. Use that to your advantage. If you get a feeling on something, on like, a new job or a business, and you feel like, hey, I need to get a job at this place because it's going to take off in the next couple of years or something, and you just get like a feeling, go for it, especially with this card. Queen of Spades, as I say, she really just goes for things. She just dives in, and she just has this knowing, a very deep knowing, a knowledge that she was born with, to know how to do things. And what's interesting is your final card is the King of Spades. So it's almost like you're going to be embracing both energies. And the King of Spades, he just knows things, by the way, and he just knows things because he's been through so much stuff in his life. He's had so many experiences, so many challenges, and I think this is true for all you third Decan Tauruses out there, that you've had all these experiences, and now you just know how to handle stuff, and that's what's pretty much going to be happening. He has a sense of maturity about him, and I think you're going to embrace that this year, like a sense of maturity of just having been through so much, and that's actually going to be what makes you successful. All those battles, this guy, he has been through some battles. He's the king now, and he's been through these battles, and that's where he's learned from, and that's what's made him successful. So these past years, all these struggles, use that stuff to your advantage. Use that knowledge you gained. All those things, all those challenges were lessons that you had to learn, but you learned them for a reason. So make sure you use that stuff to your advantage this year. All in all, it looks like a really incredible year, so enjoy it.